Welcome to the EZU course about what to do after you receive a personal lines quote in EZLynx. In this course, you will learn how to access the Quotes tab, as well as how to run, navigate, and manage quotes. So, let's get started. We'll begin by talking about how to access quotes in EZLynx. To navigate there, click on a customer's account, then click on the Quotes tab at the top. This is where you'll find all quotes related to a customer, whether generated by the rating engine or input manually. The down arrow icon to the far right of a quote will reveal more details. The kebab icon to the left of the down arrow allows you to delete the quote, view details, or associate opportunity. Please note that the associate opportunity option will only be available for those with EZLynx Sales Center. The View Details option will redirect you to the quote results page, whether it's manual or through the rating engine. The Associate Opportunity option allows you to tie the quote to an opportunity in Sales Center, if applicable. Once a quote has been tied to an opportunity, it will appear in the Sales Center column. The Add Quote button in the top right will redirect you to the Add Quote page where you can easily and quickly add a quote to the system to be tied to a policy. This feature can be especially handy for lines of business not supported in EZLynx or for manual policies that you won't receive downloads for. If you know the customer's policy will be manual, it's a good idea to tie the quote or quotes to the policy within that customer's account. Please note that it's best to wait to do this until the quote is finalized with the carrier. Another scenario this can be useful for is if you know the quote has been finalized and you're waiting for a download from the carrier, but you want to move forward with the paperwork. Now, let's move on to quotes and how to navigate the results in the EZLynx rating engine. Once you've gone through the process of submitting a personal lines application and receiving quotes, you'll see there are several buttons on the quote results page. At the top right-hand corner, you'll see a button titled Graph View that you can toggle. Clicking on this button will change the layout of how the quote results are displayed. When toggled on, the graph view will display the results as a bar with estimated premiums to the right and the carrier's name to the left. This allows you to quickly view results at a glance. When toggled off, the non-graph view will display the carrier name to the left, the estimated premium to the right, and two buttons for View More Details and Go to Carrier. Clicking on View More Details will reveal the coverage and premium breakdown, applied discounts, underwriting messages, and payment plan details. You may also notice a quote number, which is the quote number in EZLynx, should you need it when viewing the quote on the carrier's site, if applicable. We'll discuss the Go to Carrier button later in the video. In the top left-hand corner, you'll see three payment option tabs: Full Pay, Monthly, and EFT. As you would expect, the Full Pay option means the premium would be paid in full for the policy's term. The monthly option typically assumes a down payment is involved and each recurring payment will be paid in monthly installments. The EFT option, which stands for Electronic Fund Transfer, also typically involves a down payment and recurring installments until the premium is paid in full. Please keep in mind that not all carriers have each of these payment options. Additionally, certain carriers may return an error saying that they don't support payment options. In such a case, your first step would be to check the full pay option as most carriers support this. If that doesn't work, your second option would be to reach out to the carrier directly. To the right of the payment options, you'll see two tabs for scored and non-scored. The number in parentheses is the total number of quotes returned for each option. Essentially, the scored quotes mean that the credit was ordered upon submission and the premium is based on that score. On the other hand, the non-scored tab displays quote results from carriers who don't use a true credit score, meaning the results are based on an assumed score. Furthermore, you can sort premiums in the drop-down to the right of the scored and non-scored tabs. The sort options will differ depending on which payment option is selected. While the full pay option only sorts by premium, the monthly and EFT options include premium, down payment, and installment payment. The button above the Sort Premium drop-down is Switch Applicant with Co-Applicant. You can click this button to switch the two, but there must be a co-applicant in the risk profile for this option to work. This feature comes in handy when shopping for the best premium. While the main applicant's application may return higher premiums, you can seamlessly switch the two and resubmit the application to see if the co-applicant may come back with better rates. This capability allows you to exhaust all options before proceeding to the next step in the process. Alternatively, you can resubmit a quote by scrolling down on the quote results page and clicking the resubmit button. This is useful if you have made updates to the rating application or carrier logins. Next, we'll cover options that can be used to help build a quote proposal. To the right of the resubmit button is the email quote button, which resembles an envelope. Here, you can select the consumer quoting portal you wish for the customer to land on to view the quotes. If you do not have the consumer quoting product, the system will use a default one for you. To learn more about the consumer quoting product, check out our consumer quoting portal playlist. Once you fill out the recipient's information, scroll to the bottom and click Next to continue, and it will send out the email. The subsequent button is to export the quotes. Here, you can select where you want to export to, choose the export format, and the data to export. As soon as you've made your selections, scroll down and click Export to continue. There is also the Print button, which allows you to do just that. You can choose whether to print in a summary or detailed view and which carriers or quotes you'd like to print. When ready, scroll down and click Continue. Lastly, we have the Delete button, which will delete the quote results altogether. Please only use this option when you're absolutely positive you want to delete them. Otherwise, you'll be forced to go through the application and quoting process again. Once your customer has chosen their carrier, you'll want to get a finalized or firm premium. The rating engine can get you a good quote based on what the customer has provided you. However, there are some items that need to be double-checked on the carrier site, so that you provide your customer with the best opportunity, as only the carrier site will run certain reports like MVR reports. Depending on what comes back on the carrier site reports, could change the premium. That's why it's best practice to always double-check on the carrier site. The Go to Carrier button, if clicked, will open a new window on the carrier's site where you can view the quote and run any carrier-specific reports needed to finalize the premium. Please note that not every carrier is compatible with the Go to Carrier button. In these cases, you will not see the Go to Carrier button. However, you can click on the carrier's icon to the left and a new window will appear, landing you on the carrier login page. In order for the Go to Carrier button to work, you'll need to have the EZLynx plugin installed on your browser. To learn more about the EZLynx plugin and installation process, please read the Rating and Management EZLynx button article. Once you finalize the quote with the carrier and customer, you can begin the binding process on the carrier site. That's all for this EZU course on what to do after receiving a personal lines quote. You should now have the knowledge to access the Quotes tab, as well as how to run, navigate and manage quotes in EZLynx. Thanks for watching.